You can do what we said. We need to get fast control. If we get fast control, don't be afraid. Flash mid. Owen, I want you to play like you play. Okay? I want you to play like you play. Don't aim too short. Go up on cat and aim against the mid player. Always try to help your teammates, guys. We are together in this and we will win together, okay?
Some players are known for their one-taps, the others are known for their sniping, and some of them are known for their personality. But have you ever seen a player whose contribution to the game is so huge that literally everyone starts copying his strategies? Enter GobB. He reinvented the way people look at information gathering and faking, yet he's not as popular as some of the star aimers out there. This is the story of GobB, the tactical genius. Faith Dayık was born on 10th July 1987. He's originally of Turkish descent, but grew up in Frankfurt, Germany. He used to play football a lot like any other kid. In school, he was made the captain of the football team.
When I was start playing soccer, I was seeing myself as a normal player. But after a few years, I was leading the team.
He started playing Counter-Strike in small internet cafes when it was released. By the time he turned 16, he was already pretty good at it. So, he started participating in local tournaments and began his career early in 2003. He started with a team called G-Life, which then turned into Frankfurt's finest. Then another team called 360 Esports. But his efforts really paid off when he attended ESWC in 2007 with a team called ID Gaming. He personally had a really strong game there and he was noticed by Mousesports. Now, Mousesports was the best German organization who had been looking to replace a player or two for a while because they were unhappy with their performances. Mousesports picked up GobB and another player from his team, Antonio Danilowski, aka Six. Six was a rising star in Germany, and he could have been one of the best German players of all time. Picking these two up did not immediately yield results for the team, but they went undefeated in the German EPS, that is the ESL Pro Series, which is the biggest national CS league in Germany. All the German teams compete to see who's the best team in the country. So they went undefeated throughout the league phase, but at the LAN final, they struggled against Alternate Attacks, the second best German team who were hot on their heels. Next year onwards though, in 2008, Mousesports delivered on their promise of becoming one of the best teams in the world. They got off to a flying start and won the first major of the year, the Intel Extreme Masters 2. Add to that list of achievements, they won the IEM3 Global Challenge in Dubai in October of 2008.
The next two, and SK have got just two players left alive, and they no longer have anybody left alive as Mousesports have come alive here. A phenomenal performance by the Germans.
This was the best year for Mousesports so far because they'd won 2 top-tier tournaments and they were overall the 3rd best team in the world. A lot of this had been possible because of GobB. He was never known for his superb aim or mechanical skills, but he was a brilliant tactician. In fact, he was superb on some maps like Inferno and Dust 2. He was the one who invented the information capturing meta in Inferno. Here's Thorin to explain it better. So as a terrorist, GobB would like to secure as much area of the map so that he can keep his options open. He would push up mid, check either side, and once that's done, a lot of options open up. After taking mid, you could make a lot of noise and get the enemies to rotate to A. You can keep one player there and then let him collect the information while the rest of the players would fall back and then take banana when there's only one CT left on the B side, making it a perfect fake. Or you could continue keeping that one player mid, go fake banana, leave one player there as well, and then go back to mid and attack A again. That way, he keeps tabs on his opponents, hitting the weakest areas and often double or triple faking. Now, whatever I just said might seem like pretty much the normal way to play Inferno in this present age, but back then, this was revolutionary, and GobB was one of the first people to implement this kind of a playstyle and understand the map in such depth. Plus, you need to give him more credit than this because 2008 was such a highly competitive era when every top team was from Europe. 3rd best in the world, and victories against world-class opponents like SK, Fnatic, MTW, MYM. This was impressive for GobB's team. 2009 though was nowhere near as nice. They had lackluster showings in most of the tournaments as they slipped and fell out of tournaments early. They did win Gamescom Global Challenge and GameGune, but for the rest of their tournaments, not really. They won the German EPS and they were still the best in the country, but that was it. They were no longer the dominant team that they were last year. 2010 was supposed to be the road to redemption. They acquired Roman from Alternate Attacks, and Roman was this rising star who was playing for the second best team in Germany, and he was also the reason why Mousesports would sometimes struggle against Alternate Attacks. With him in the roster, they won the IEM4 European Championship, which is a pretty big deal because it had some of the toughest teams in the world, and they also came second in the Arab-led Cup. If things would have gone this way, they would have easily finished in the third or the fourth best team in the world, but two major things happened that year which threw a spanner in the works. On 10th July 2010, Six was returning home from the Frankfurt airport after he missed his flight to Shanghai to play at the IEM5 Global Challenge. On the way home, he died in a car accident. Six had been with GOP since the days of ID gaming, all the way back in 2007, 3 years ago. This whole thing shook up Faith. He decided to give up and retire. He left Mousesports, played a bit along with his friends in ESC, and somehow decided to come back to Mouse after his mind was refreshed and new insight had been gathered with that stint in ESC. They still won the German EPS, but it did not really matter because CS 1.6 was already dying and CSGO was about to take over. GOP was never the most dominant 1.6 player, and compared to big names like Forest, GetRight, Neo and all, he would obviously not match up to them. But he made do with whatever he was given, and he led his team to victory throughout the CS 1.6 glory days. He was the kind of player who would do his homework, study out the opponent. His game awareness was palpable to anyone who played alongside him, and he had this talismanic effect on his team. At the end of the 1.6 era, he spent a few months being indecisive about whether he should retire or not. He juggled between being active and inactive for a few months, but in the end he officially announced his comeback with Mousesports in December 2013. I mean, we all knew he wasn't gonna hang up the mouse so soon. The first couple years of CSGO were rough on him. Actually, they were rough for everybody. Ninjas in Pajamas was soaring on top throughout 2014, busy fending off very games. Then Fnatic would take over in 2015. So, throughout 2014, GOP was still struggling to get a grasp on CSGO. He played in Mousesports for 3 months, left it in March, took a small break to figure things out, and then joined Alternate Attacks for 3 months from September to November. Finally joined forces with Mousesports once again on the 1st of January 2015. 2015 too wasn't very impressive for him. They failed to make it to the first major in Katowice, then finished 13th to 16th at the second major in Cologne. All throughout not having impressive finishes at any other tournament. The best that they could do was a 4th place finish in Gamescom. Sure, they were still winning local German tournaments like ESL Sommermeisterschaft and ESL Frugelinnesmeisterschaft, but it wasn't very good enough for Mousesports.
What? Why would you say that if you don't know how to pronounce?
GOP was signed with Mousesports for a year. So in December, when the time to renew the contract came around, he was pretty disappointed. He ended up joining Energy Esports from North America after that in January 2016, along with 2 German players, Tapsin and Legia, and 2 American veterans, PTR and Fugly. Things definitely improved after that. They at least started getting top 8 finishes, and sometimes even managed top 4 at lesser stacked events. This was at a time when NACS was being ridiculed, so if you look at it, GOP was never in any teams which had superstar players. But with PTR and Fugly, 2 talented players from North America, things were definitely better. After spending a year across the Atlantic, GOP returned to Germany in 2017. A new exciting opportunity awaited him there. He co-created Big, Berlin International Gaming, alongside Tapsin and Nex, invited his old Mousesports teammate Tizian into the team, who was playing with Alternate Attacks at this point. Much of 2017 was spent in establishing themselves as a team. At this point, he did not just want to be better than Mousesports or Attacks, he wanted to be the best in the world, and he was already on his road to redemption. GOP had his eyes on the big prize, the PGL Krakow Major. Once again, he used his mastery on Inferno. He was using great tactics as usual, but people only paid attention to the jump bug. What is the jump bug? It's when you crouch mid-air while jumping, so you can see above walls, but because you crouch, the enemy cannot see you, and he found the best place to use it. On Inferno, the half-wall of Banana. Keep in mind that in 2018, Astralis was showing the world how powerful utility usage can be. Liquid were the team who were chasing them. A storm was brewing in the distance. Gobby had a master plan. To combine his knowledge of the map along with the utility usage, he would come up with a formula so deadly, nobody was prepared for it. Inferno was a map that every team was willing to play. The cathedral of Counter-Strike, in front of the home crowd, best of ones. It was the perfect storm.
Defeat and Gobby can still win this one. He's got the UMP now, Matt. This would be absolutely absurd. He's got the Dinkin. He has the advantage here as he encroaches on Grover's position. Gobby has done it! 2 versus 1. Bomb down.
Don't rule him out. He's got it as well. He's only got 12 HP, but he's lost track of where Keeve is. The shot, and he's on it. Keeve, why is he not peeking? Goes for the knife. Oh my goodness. You talk about conflict, BM. Take that.
With the added firepower of Smooya, Big got the boost that they needed. Everyone played out of their minds. Gobby used insane executes on the T sides that bifurcated the bomb sites in half, destroying all potential enemy crossfire. And he did that not just on Inferno, he did it on every map possible. Big came second at one of the greatest tournaments and proved to the world that German CS should not be taken lightly. This was probably the highest point in his career. After playing with Big for nearly another year, on 2nd August 2019, Gobby gracefully hung up the mouse and announced his retirement as a player, possibly for the last time. But he will still continue with Big as a manager. Gobby was a tactical genius who was able to create a team from scratch and lead them to new heights. His team never had any star players or insanely talented aimers. He came ahead with sheer wit and game sense. He's one of the smartest players to have ever played the game and will always be remembered as a legendary leader and a cherished captain. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and let us know in the comments what would you like to see next. Subscribe for more CSGO content. Thank you so much for watching and we will see you next time.